Ready?
You need reading glasses?
No, I'm okay.
You should.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening and welcome to Sunderland Elementary School Committee meeting of Wednesday, March 27th. Welcome. And first item is to review and approve the minutes of February 5th, 2013. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second?
Tuesday, February 5th.
Any questions, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item, public comment. There being none.
Financial report.
Oh, I'm sorry. Financial statements. Patty.
Okay, tonight you have before you the February report for the school, and we do have one overage to report tonight on page 3. Towards the bottom, it's evals and other sites. We're over $1,725, and this is due to paying for services to service our special needs students in the school rather than sending them out of district. So that line we'll have to keep an eye on for the rest of the year. And that's all I have to report since you've already signed your warrants.
Oh, right. This is really confusing me. Thank you, Patty. Next item, we have a presentation. I'm going to introduce.
Excuse me.
I know how much Tim would like to have introduced you, but Mr. Merritt is at a conference where he's presenting information on the Korean program that we had here, and the Skype and all of that information. So he will be back tomorrow. But we're very happy tonight to have Vicki Palmer with us. Vicki is the school psychologist and guidance counselor. You've been here at least as long as I've been here.
A long time.
So, and 12 years or more. And we asked Vicki to come this evening because Vicki is really the backbone of the school in many, many ways, because she really helps students and parents alike, community members, in terms of doing outreach and making lives easier for everyone. So I asked Vicki to come this evening and talk about all the things that we do as a school, which she has a large hand in sort of supervising and organizing and working with others. So maybe you would talk to us about outreach.
Oh, I'm happy to speak with you, and I really thank each of you and the community at large for the opportunity to come tonight and talk with you about the partnering that we do within the community at large, and the chance to reach out to others so that we can work to make better lives for children and for families. In particular, it's an opportunity for us to shine as a school and show how much we care, and it's been really a gift to me in my role here. I not only have enjoyed it, I also get the opportunity to see children and families benefit from support. So it really is it's a village for sure. I've prepared some materials that I'm going to share with you later, but I'll use these as cliff notes to describe to you more about the way that we bridge community here in Sunderland. I will let you know that we have a fabulous parent-teacher organization that helps us so much in spearheading opportunities for bringing in cultural presentations to our school, and who work to generate interest in some of the things that happen here at the school. For example, we have a clothing swap that will take place next month on the half-day parent-teacher conference day. It is a clothing swap this year. In the past, we've had both a clothing and a book swap, in which families come in with gently used clothing and athletic equipment, and then swap it for the equivalent, maybe the next size up. We don't keep score about how many bags you bring. We just encourage families to come in and to reduce and reuse and recycle. We think that's part of what we are really working on here in our large community, and so we're happy to do that. That's always a great event. We run that for 3 hours, and the benefit is that families get free clothing and 6th grade student ambassadors who work alongside me actually help with childcare, they help with organizing, they have opportunities to practice leadership. So that is really a terrific initiative that myself, as well as Rachel Kidder in the library, and Karen Green, who you know is your Community Family Engagement Coordinator, works with me. She shares a lot of materials, and she also works with some area places like the New to You Family Boutique, who offers us some of their used clothing, and they sell it for $1 or so at the sale, and we take that money and we put it toward the general fund for PTO. So again, it's connecting and partnering with outside places, and that's really terrific. I also want to talk to you about the Nancy Light Fund. Some of you might be familiar with the Nancy Light Fund, but it is a fund that was established in memory of a wonderful special education teacher who was the victim of some challenges with health and in fact passed away suddenly and in the mid-1980s. So the fund was established in her honor, and in particular she loved books. So many of the books surrounding you here in the library have nameplates that say that the books were given in her honor. The Nancy Light Fund continues today, and we receive donations from area civic groups like the Women's Club, as well as those in the community who knew her well, and those monies are put into a fund that is managed by Principal Merritt, and those are used for specific requests that we receive from families in need. So here's an example. A family realizes that their child needs eyeglasses, and the coverage through their insurance is little or none. So they reach out to say, look, in order to help my child do better in school, they really need these eyeglasses. We consider their request, and then very often we go ahead and draw monies out of the Nancy Light Fund to help support that child. So it's really a wonderful use of the monies, and those funds are discretionary. So I would encourage each of you to tell others about this opportunity. It's just a great way to support kids in the school. Any questions about what I'm sharing so far? You're all so quiet. Okay. I want to also tell you about something that happened just last month in the upper grades, the 5th and 6th grade. We had a Boston University Medical School student, a 3rd-year student who was from California, who came into school for 2 afternoons and presented a special program called Tar Wars, a tobacco prevention program. This young 20-something, 6'5" fella was really engaging with the kids. And he came in and he had slideshows and did simulation exercises with them to help understand the impact of tobacco. His presentation helped us spearhead a tobacco prevention poster challenge, and several students participated. Those posters are actually on display in area medical offices, and those students who participated received a commendation. So again, another way to bridge our school and engage others. This opportunity presented itself in part because I have a connection with Boston University, but it offered a chance for this student to actually work with younger kids. He was a great inspiration. Kids really enjoyed it. We actually have some iPad movies of his presentation. If you're interested in seeing, I'll show you at another time. So again, just a great, great chance. Another agency that we work closely with is the ARC. The ARC is an agency based in Greenfield that services students and families, individuals and families with intellectual and developmental disabilities. They work with us in programs for students and for families, and they provide ongoing support, in-home support. Sometimes that means respite. Sometimes that means things like providing furniture and clothing for families. So they are a great partner with us, and we don't always work with them, but we have worked with them a few times over the course of, I'd say, 5 years. They are a resource, and we really are glad that they're a part of what we do here at school. One of the things that's fabulous about this community is that we have all kinds of civic groups, and we have area places of worship with like-minded people who want very much to support the school. And I feel very fortunate that often when parishioners or participants in groups, members of the group, have something that they feel the family might need, they will call me and say, our food bank is filled. Do you have a family who might be in need, who could use some extra food? The answer is always yes. I welcome that opportunity to provide snacks, foods for children and families who have limited incomes. I know that each of you shops at the grocery store and realizes just how expensive it is to buy food. Some of these children who receive free and reduced lunch within our building don't have access to foods on snow days. They don't have food during school vacation. So those particular weeks and those times are my target areas. Very often I will receive a call from a generous community member who is willing to assemble a box of snack foods so that I might share that with families. So again, I so appreciate that generosity, which is very often done quietly and without fanfare, but with a real sincerity. So we're really fortunate in that way. Another benefit of, another way we've partnered is that we've been able to work with area masons and clubs like the Polish Club and the Women's Club, who have helped us support families at the holidays and scholarships for children for summer camps. Very often summer seems like such fun, but for families who are hard at work, finding childcare and paying for that childcare during the summer is a real hardship. The Angel Masonic Fund supports our children at River Valley Day Camp, and that helps some of those children who attend reading camp to stay beyond the hours of the free reading camp to stay within River Valley. And that has been a tremendous bonus this year. So I've really been fortunate about that. Recently, Amherst College has reached out to us to say that they are looking for a school to partner with who wants very much to be aligned with them in receiving food donations, as well as hats and mittens around the winter. And believe me, do we need hats and mittens, especially with winters like this. They have offered us backpacks filled with school supplies, and I feel as though it is like a holiday when I walk into school and find that there's a dozen backpacks filled with school supplies, usually in August and September. So it's really just absolutely wonderful.
From
Amherst College, yes, that's right. Their athletic department, yeah, has spearheaded that.
Their athletes graduate.
Their athletes do graduate, that's right. I've shared with you just a little about some of the ways that we've been able to gain exposure within the community and partner with others. I wonder if you have any questions or comments about some of the work?
It's just amazing to hear all this happening when we really don't know it. At least some of it. Some of the programs we were aware of it, but it's amazing to see how much the school is doing and you are doing for it. So, thanks.
Well, you're very welcome, and again, know that this is effort that comes from a lot of generosity within our community, who feel trust in what we do and how we do it, and I hope to continue this process, and I'd also like to see it grow. I think it's wonderful when the families who need our support the most are in fact able to have food and clothing and basic needs met, and maybe special gifts around certain times of the year, because it helps families feel like they have a connection with us, a positive connection, because some of our families don't have positive experiences themselves from their own childhoods connected with schools. We want to make sure they feel good about it.
I think that's the most important thing that we can do, because I do agree with you that many of the parents were not supportive and did not really feel wanted in schools to some degree. And it's nice to be able to break that their children and with them to show that we are concerned and that we can help. And I really admire the fact that there's so many people in the community who do this anonymously.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes it even nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Because people just want to help, and I think that that's the hallmark of any community. I think you started your presentation saying that we're a village, and obviously the reference being that it takes a village to raise a child. And I think that that does happen here, because every family is not fortunate enough to have everything that they need for their children, and we need to pick up that slack because it makes a difference in their education.
I agree.
So, I have a question about something that I've wondered about since I saw this very interesting presentation at the MASS conference a couple of years ago. You might have been on this one too, about breakfast, actually doing breakfast in the school day, you know, is an important way for making sure that all kids, you know, start the day with a good meal. And I know that's obviously challenging in all kinds of ways from the start of the day and other things, but if that's something that any other schools that you know of have done, or you know, and how, just something that I wondered. I remember, I mean, it's been a couple of years now since I was at the presentation, but it seemed like that it made a big impact in some schools.
Doug, it's a really great question, and in fact, none of our district schools serve breakfast because we are not eligible based on
That's what I was wondering.
income.
Yeah.
We do have a number of students who don't come to school with snacks, and we are fortunate that very often the PTO will help us in those areas by providing some snacks for teachers to have in their classrooms. And sometimes we get donations from area farms that we share with children as well. But we don't typically serve breakfast, and we haven't served breakfast ever in this building.
And so the state has like a threshold that's
They
really
do.
for, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the school really, and really, you know, it's gone a long way. I mean, with the PTO, I mean, you started having at the open house, and Amy having the dinner, and I think it's amazing seeing the families that you just, you know, it's grown and grown, and I think that like goes to that whole getting people into the school, and it's a very welcoming place to come to. And I'm sure, you know, to reach out if people do need help, that they would, you know.
I know, you wonder if like once a month, if you just had a little breakfast buffet, you know, breakfast and books, or, you know, something just once a month, and just saw who showed up for that. You know, is it 5 people or is it 50 people, you know, and you wonder if you could get a read on that, you know, as a, you know, we don't meet the standard for the state, but you wonder if, you know, PTO.
That could be something. I
or
would think
just a group
PTO,
of
yeah.
volunteer parents.
Right, put
that,
a little committee together.
you know,
That's a great suggestion, and I would be
Just
happy
to
to be a part of that.
get a, you know, sort of
Sense of,
sense of, you know,
yeah.
how many people
How many
showed up for that, you know?
I know we do a great job during MCAS of, you know, all the teachers and, you know, parents bring in snacks, and
Right,
so at least they get a good start, you know, on that day.
right.
Is the parent cafe, is that something that's still happening, Vicki?
The Parent Cafe happened once this year. It was less well-attended than in the past. Sometimes that's about the specific date that we choose.
Right.
Or it could be about weather, or it could be about a number of different things. Some of the parent programs that I've helped to spearhead have continued, while others are put on hold for now. For example, the Family Fun Night, Watch Your Sentinel, that will be out on Friday. This year we'll have our Family Fun Night on Wednesday, May 1st. That's an opportunity for families to come together for a free spaghetti dinner and salad, and where we'll have literacy and math activities. And we will have the 6th grade students help with that. They will lead some activities. And a core group of us here at school will organize the purchase of books so that we can have books for bingo, which is always great fun. And we can also pass out math activities for families to do together with their children. That free event was very popular last year, so we'd like to make it an annual event. Families loved coming to have something that was easy for them, and starting at 5:30, so our opportunity to capture some of those families leaving the out-of-school time programs. So we've really tried to make the school a very welcoming place at all different times of the day, and I believe that technology, helps us to be more transparent. We encourage families to come in and visit. We will tell them that we are available to them, and we want to partner with them in support of their children. That's our hope, and that's what we work toward.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm going to actually just pass out some of these for you to keep on hand, just some notes. And if you have any questions, I'm always available to talk with. And if you have any winter coats,
Oh, okay. So
that
you
you're
need
ready.
winter coats?
Winter coats.
Okay.
Winter coats, and I also am pretty short on the mitten supply this year.
Okay.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Okay, so that'd be great.
Excellent, thanks so much.
Thank you,
very much,
everyone.
Vicki.
Thank you.
Next item is policy CH-1 and policy implementation and CHA-1, development and dissemination of policy procedures.
We're asking you to do two things with these policies. First of all, we're asking you to rescind a couple of policies. The policy implementation and the development and dissemination of policy, the development and dissemination of policy procedures.
That's the new.
What we're looking at, if you remember, we took two policies and turned them into one.
Yep.
We were talking about development of regulations and regulation dissemination. And those two we need to have rescinded, because what we did is we put them into one policy. It's called development and dissemination of policy procedures. What I explained to you was it's pretty simple. It's the same policy, but the difference being regulations are those that come from the state, and what we're charged with as administrators is to put together procedures to implement the policies that you approve. So it's really a word change on those two.
Okay. So we need a motion to rescind policy CH, policy implementation, policy CHA, and policy CHC. A motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
To rescind policy CH1, CHA-1, I'm sorry.
No, not dash.
No.
No, CH, CHA, CHC. Yep. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then we need another motion to adopt policy CH-1 and CHA-1. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Good idea.
Did that work?
A second?
Second?
Any questions? The new policy? No? All those in favor? Oh,
Aye.
oh, go ahead.
You did two for the price of one, and that's perfectly
Okay.
fine.
Oh, good.
What you approved was the development and dissemination of policy procedures, which
Right.
is excellent. And what you did secondly was on policy implementation, and you approved that as well. That's the other one. So that works fine, and that's how your minutes will be reflected.
Great.
Great.
When you're all done with that.
The next item is new business, amend policy HH, employee negotiating organizations.
Now, this is a pretty simple one. when we started, this is a new policy, and you'll get to amend it at your next meeting. But when this policy was approved in 2003, you had two bargaining units. You had the Frontier Regional Teachers Association and the Union of the 38 Teachers Association. Since that time, we've added two more negotiating groups, and those are called Unit C. They're instructional assistants. There's one at both Frontier and also one at the elementary level. So at your next meeting, I will ask you to amend the policy to add those two other groups. So that one's pretty easy. Okay.
Any questions?
What was the two additional or the
Instructional assistants.
instructional assistant, oh, the two different ones for instructional
Right,
assistants?
for
Okay.
each Frontier and the Union.
Oh, right,
Yep,
right.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and that's new a year ago, right? 2
The
years?
Frontier one is 3 years
3 years.
old, and the elementary one is a year old. That's correct.
Questions? We'll vote on that next time? No? Moving on? Reports. I just have my Frontier report. And our last meeting, we spent most of our meeting with our public comments, public hearing on the budget. Was a lively discussion. Lots of, we had a lot of good discussion on what was going on in the budget. And today, we had at high school, the Japanese students were here. It's very exciting for the kids. I
bet.
I don't know if
Yeah.
your kids, but my son certainly came home and it was the first thing he mentioned to me. So it's very, it's a great thing to see the two cultures. And then we worked on the same policies that we worked on here. And we continue with negotiations for Frontier and the Union 38 contracts. And do you want to do Tim's? Mr. Merritt's? And then we have, the collaborative, have we?
Collaborative met, yeah.
Okay, great.
We met, of note, we voted to approve the summer tuitions. And got a financial presentation leading up to approving the budget in the next meeting, so. There's, still an ongoing process preparing for a new executive director, as Joan Schumann is stepping down, so.
Do they have someone, or is it?
No,
they're
I mean,
working
it's
on it.
just, there's a
Oh.
search committee, and there's,
Okay.
at this stage, kind of looking into consultants,
Mhm.
expensive process to do this very, so,
Okay.
yeah.
She's been there for a
So-
while, too,
She's has
apparently.
been,
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's been there a long time.
taking it. Okay. Great, thank you.
I do have the principal's report tonight, because Tim put this together before he left. We're talking about parent-teacher conferences, which are upcoming on April 4th and 5th. And you heard that we talked about one of those afternoons will be the clothing swap as well. But these are opportunities for parents who wish to come in and meet with their teachers, with their children's teachers, and talk about the child's progress here in school. MCAS is alive and well. I'm not sure that I'm delighted with that. It is what it is. And children have been, I know they've done the long composition already, and the math and science portion will be taking place in May. And we encourage families to make sure that children do get their breakfast, they go to bed early, and try to sort of align the anxiety that goes along with this testing. And most importantly is our Arts Night Out. That's coming up on Thursday, April 11th. It's an evening for parents and families are invited to share the creative output of the entire school. And it will be an evening of creative expression. It's an event the whole family can take part in. And there will be songs that children will be singing, each grade level performance. And the theme this year is the music of Latin America. And in talking with Mr. Hines, I know that he has some of the children singing this music in Spanish. So it'll be a very nice presentation, and there will also be our art exhibit in the cafeteria, etc. And this is the one where I run in for about 15 minutes and then move on to Conway. But I do enjoy it, and I do like to see what the kids are producing. So that's coming up, so add that to your calendar.
And I would encourage anyone from the community. I have gone to probably, I think, 8 years in a row of Arts Night. It is every time amazing and fabulous, and it's a different show every year, and it's just a great way to see what's going on in the school. It's a great night, a great energy that night. Dr. Nash.
All right, I put before you this evening annual reports. These are the portions of the educational annual reports that go into each town's annual report. So you have both the one for Sunderland and also the one for Frontier. And that will show up in the annual report produced by Sunderland. It also reminds you of the municipal conference. I think I talked about this at the last meeting, one that Senator Rosenberg puts on every year at Northampton. Saturday, April 6th. I would encourage you to sign up for that if you can. It's usually from about 8 to 1, and it does include lunch, and it includes, the senator brings people out from Boston. Sometimes they get lost along the way, but usually they do make it eventually. It's always interesting to talk with various department heads and senators and representatives. The Pioneer Valley Teachers of Excellence Awards, we've joined that probably, this is 8 or 9 years now. And we're allowed as a school district 2 teachers each year to be nominated for this award. We rotate through the elementary, so every 4th year it's the same school. This year it was Deerfield, and the teacher selected there is Megan Damaris. She's a grade 4 teacher. And we alternate every year at middle school and high school. And this year it was Kim Scudder, who's in the middle school. She's one of our special education teachers. So these 2 individuals will be honored at the log cabin and given some gifts by area business people, banks, colleges, etc. And I think what I see them doing is representing all of our teachers in our schools. And it's nice to see educators being recognized as we often recognize sports figures, movie stars, and others, but it's not often teachers. So it's a very nice evening. It's nice to see that happening. And last but not least, I do want to compliment this board along with all of the school committees in Frontier Regional Union 38 on your selection of Marty Barrett as your new superintendent of schools starting July 1. You did a great job. When I hear about some of the other searches that have been going on in the area, I think you handled it very, very well. You have a wonderful person for you. And with her knowledge of the players in the district, the fact she's been principal of 3 of the schools out of 5, there will be no downtime. She can just keep the district moving ahead and doing more and more things in the interest of good education. So I compliment you. It seemed to be a group that worked well together collaboratively, and you did a great job. I think I'd like to take you on the road. I think you have a lot to teach other school committees from what I read. So, thank you again for doing that.
You have to be the chaperone.
So that's all I have, unless you have questions. Oh, I might mention, remember our next meeting is out of sync. It's April 8th.
Right. It's just around the corner.
That in.
Oh my gosh, right.
So we will see you very shortly.
Any other questions? I had an interesting conversation with my sister-in-law. We were talking about MCAS and the stress it causes. In Florida, it's just, if the test that they give, if you don't pass, you don't move on. I thought, oh my gosh. So I'm thankful that at least that's not part of, you know,
Can you retake it?
I mean, I don't know, but it's, her poor fourth
Attention at
grader
grade
is
level.
under such enormous stress over these tests, and it just breaks my heart.
There are some other states that do that as well, and I'm very grateful that.
Very
The
grateful.
families too must be. I
Oh,
mean,
he's
it's
in a
just
tutor, she's in the,
wreck.
yeah, they're a wreck, yeah, so.
Well, yeah.
It's
Well,
bad, but it's not
Yeah.
bad. But anyway, okay. That being said, wow, do I have a motion to adjourn at 7:40? Is that right?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much.